procrastinating starting this channel for a really long time, and I think I should just start before I procrastinate further. Okay. This is my reading journal for 2024. I made one last year, I made one the year before, but I didn't stick with it because it was just too much effort and I kept forgetting because I kept getting behind and then not catching up. But this year I am going to keep with it. That's the plan anyway. This notebook is from Notebook Therapy. It's my favorite. They're my favorite like notebook brand. I've tried a few out, but they're the ones that kind of work. I don't know what the design's called. It's just the one with a whale, and it has a little cute little thing on the spine as well, which I think looks cute when you like put it on your shelf. I think I'm just gonna like flip through and then give a little bit of a description of why I included those pages or what I did for each page. I was going to film me setting it up, but this took me, I think, like the whole of December, because I kept just not knowing what I wanted to do, and then also like I would leave it for a few days and then come back to it and then leave it, and then yeah, so I only actually just finished it last night. And so let's just start. So also I have to do this one-handed, so it's a bit difficult, but here's my little cover page, which I think is really nice. This was what I was going to do for like the theme throughout the whole journal, but you would see that I kind of dropped it very early on, and did like a little, I'll just do a little zoom. Yeah, that's that. It's just a little introduction page, I guess. Next, so I wanted to do a little page to show like how I rate my books, but to be fair, I give like all books 5 stars because I'm really bad like that. This year I do want to actually do a little bit more of a like I want to think more critically about how I rate books instead of just giving them how I rate the books. And I've decided maybe to use, there's this method, but I don't know what it's called, but it's where you like think of the plot separate to the writing style to the characters, and then you like give them a rating, a number out of 7, I think. No, 10, I don't know. And then you divide it and it gives you like a number out of 10, and you use that to decide how many stars. And I want to start using that method. So, but I thought about that and I saw that method after I did this. So I'm going to leave it though, because this is kind of how I do rate books as of now, and I think it'll be fun to see how I'll do it in the future and kind of compare. And then I didn't know what to do here, so I just decided to do a little stats of 2023 just to, I guess, compare with next year and hopefully see an improvement, because last year, it's not last year because we're still in December, I feel like we're already in 2024, but this year I literally didn't read for 5 months, which never really happens normally, but I was just busy with life and everything, so I didn't read for 5 months straight, no books, and that's why my stats were a lot lower than I thought it would be, because my goal was to read 100 books and I ended up reading about 54, because for just under half a year I didn't read anything. Anyway, so I will hopefully, let's hope we don't get into any slumps or too busy that we can't read, but we'll see. But I do think it'll be fun to compare my stats from this year to next year. Next, I did want to have a place to write down every single book that I've read. This is not every single book I've ever read, but just from when I started noting it down, which was 2 years ago in 2022. So yeah, and I decided to have a running total because I thought that would be quite fun. And then also the title, the author, and then the rating, because I do quite like seeing the rating. I found this quite fun because I went through my Goodreads and I kind of actually edited a few of the ratings as I was doing it, just to see that this is a book I've read, but I literally don't remember reading it. So I just kind of changed the rating compared to that, and looking back, because now I kind of compare, which is bad, but I compare books to each other to kind of show a rating. So if it's not that good, because it's not as good as like my 5-star reads, like my 5-star reads make it difficult for me to like a book because I need it to be as good as that book, if that makes sense. Which is why I didn't really give a lot of like 1 star, 2 stars. I don't normally do that, but now I do, in that sense. You know, I don't DNF books. I really kind of want to, but I feel like when I read a book and I get to a certain point where I'm like, oh, I hate this, I feel like I've wasted my time if I don't finish it, because I've just given so much to it. But I think this is the year I'm going to start DNFing if I don't like books, because it's actually me wasting more time if I'm reading it. And I'm going to try and be okay with DNFing a book, because sometimes a book is just crap and you don't need to read it. It doesn't work for you, you don't enjoy it. What's the point of putting your energy into it? Okay, so there's that. And I thought this would be enough. So then I was going to do like my running of this year, but I didn't have enough for all the books I did read. So I did end up reading, making another table here, which did mean I didn't leave enough room for my 2024 books. So I did later make another page for it, which is a bit annoying because it's not like next to each other, but I don't really mind, to be fair, that it's like ages after. I do that again with another page as well because I just didn't have enough room, because I don't think these things through. I literally just open up the page, draw something up, and then just kind of go from there. So it's not always well thought out. But yeah, so I do have all the books I read here. And then yeah, it's the same table, but because this is like previous ones, I didn't need to include it, but I am going to write the date on these ones just to have an idea of like when I read them and how much I read each month and stuff. I was thinking I can fit it, but I probably will just write the month and the day and not actually the year, because it's all the same year. So, but we'll see. I guess my writing's not too big, so I will fit it in that gap, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But yeah, and I did little chapter 3 because it's the 3rd year of reading, like how I'm reading now, where I'm reading like every day and stuff. So next, I do want to track how many pages I read a day, because I think it will be fun. I do think I did make a lot of boxes though. I feel like if I were to do this again, I'd probably only do like 4 brackets or something. I also haven't decided what colours I want to use, because I've decided how I've done this, how all the pages are set up are quite like neutral. I'm just using kind of browns and a little hint of colour here and there, but it is predominantly just neutrals. So I don't have that many neutral colours, and so I don't know if I want to go with a vibrant colour or a... Yeah, but I do want to just see how many pages I read a day. Also, kind of on the same theme of that, I want to make sure that I read every day. That's another one of my goals. I want to, at least, even if it's 1 page, I just want to read a little bit every day, just because I think it's a lot better for me to read a couple pages before I go to bed than scrolling on TikTok or something, which is what I do sometimes, but a lot of the time I do read before I go to bed. And I do kind of want to stick with that because I think it's nicer than like just being on your phone and stuff. So yeah, I did make a little table to see how much I read, and then I will just kind of like strike a little like mark with a pen just to see where I'm reading. I do need to update the colours though, but soon, before the 1st. But and then also my reading goal, which is 100 books, which I think is manageable, but it's one of those things I don't care if I don't hit it, so it doesn't really matter. But with a page like this, I do want to, I'm a bit more motivated to hit it because I've drawn it out, and I think it would be really like upsetting, for example, if I start colouring it in and I'm like end there and it's like kind of near. But if I'm like, that's why I kind of did these like little mini goals after every 25 books, because I feel like I don't mind not getting to the 100. And I think, yeah, I think it's fine. I think this is just a nice way of also just motivating me though to read books more because I'm trying to get to a certain number. But again, reading is just something I enjoy doing, so it's not like I want to put the pressure on myself, you know, but I don't feel pressurized when I do this. Like last year, my goal was 100. I did not hit it. It doesn't matter. I got to like 54-ish books, and that's fine with me. But on Goodreads, though, I have decided to keep my reading goal as 50 and not 100. And this is just kind of what I want to do, because I feel like Goodreads puts pressure on me because it's always like you're 5 books behind, and it stresses me out. So yeah, I'm just gonna do 50 for the Goodreads, but I want to read 100 books, but we will see. Next is 24 books I want to read in 2024. I just like doing this page, but again, I don't feel like I need to read all these books, and I don't really care if I don't. These are just the books I have been quite excited to read, and some of them also are like coming out. I think I could be wrong, but I think 1 or 2 might be actually coming out in 2024. I don't know if I did that though. We'll see. But a lot of them are also me trying to finish series that I've been in the middle of for a while, and I'm like on the last book, and duologies as well, because duologies is one of those things I end up reading a lot of the first book and never really getting onto the second book. But yeah, that's why I do want to kind of get to doing that. And a lot of these, yeah, I've just been really excited to read. Yeah, like Funny Story, Emily Henry, that's coming out next year in 2024. So yeah, they're like books like that as well. So, but these are 2024, 24 books I want to read in the year, but it doesn't matter if I don't. Okay, I also have book bingo because I thought it was really fun. I saw like a bunch of like spreads about it on Pinterest. I get a lot of my inspiration for my journal from Pinterest. But then I like to put my own little swing on it. A lot of these also I didn't get from like one. I just kept looking at different prompts and choosing which ones I wanted to like kind of go for, because moving on to my goal, one of my goals is actually to finish a lot of my physical TBR, and I think by putting these little challenges, doing these little challenges and little prompts, I want to try and finish my TBR because it is getting really, really bad. And I'm also trying to not buy books because that will help with me keeping my TBR, my physical TBR, quite short. Because I really don't like that I have a shelf full of books and I've not read like even half of them. And I think especially because now I have a Kindle as well, I do like just reading books on Kindle Unlimited, or just buying books on the Kindle and reading on there, and then not actually touching my physical TBR, which means that I am reading books. It's not that I'm not reading books, but I'm not reading the ones that I've bought and they've been on my shelf for like 2 years. And so I'm going to try this year. That's my main goal, is to cut it down. If I read, I don't know, 50, 60 books off of my physical TBR, I think I'll be pretty happy. Like, I don't need to read every single book off my physical TBR because I know I'm quite a mood reader as well. So if I'm not in the mood for it, I just won't read it and I'll go and pick another book. But I do really want to read my physical TBR, especially because I got my Kindle last year. Before that, I was just reading the books I own, and now I feel like I'm very rarely picking up a physical book because I feel like it's so much easier to read on the Kindle. But I want to, because I need to read the books that I have bought, because they're books that I was always so excited about. So yeah, that is my main goal for this year, and that's why I've put a lot of these in place in order to try and cut down my physical TBR, because with this one, all of these except for I think 2 or 3 I own already. Some of them are on Kindle Unlimited and stuff like that, so I don't own them, but a majority of this are books that I have owned for ages. And then with the book bingo, all of these books I want to read off of my physical TBR, so I don't want to buy a book for this in order to like complete this challenge. A lot of them, I think all of them, all of them, I can think of a book that I own that works for these prompts, which is why I went through and made sure I picked prompts that were kind of in my library already, because I do really, really want to just finish that TBR. So yeah, and all my goals also like link, they're all pretty much the same. I want to read a little every day, which I've already said, 100 books ish, and then I want to spend less money on books because it has become a very expensive hobby and I don't need as many books as I have, so why do I need to buy even more? So I'm going to try and actually not buy that many books this year. To be fair, at the end of the last year I've not really been buying books, so I'm going to try and keep that, and then also read off of my physical TBR rather than like not, you know. Then I have my statistics for this year. This page is quite in your face because I coloured it in. Also the camera is making it a bit more like purpley, but it is very brown. Like it doesn't really have that mahogany feel, it is just brown, but yeah, the camera isn't very picking up very nicely on it. But yeah, these are just all the things I kind of want to track. To be fair, I got to this point and that's all I wanted to track, and then I decided I don't know what to put here, so I will just continue, and I thought I would track tropes instead because I feel like that would be kind of fun. So these are just a few little fun tropes that I can see how many of each book I read every month, which that's a bit irrelevant, not really important, but this is all like kind of what I want to track. So it's just, yeah, it looks a bit empty now, but when it's filled up with numbers and stuff, it will look like it's not empty. But yeah, nothing very exciting here. I did also put this here just because I didn't like the way it looked. I try to always fix it. If I don't like how it looks, then I'm not gonna really use it and I'll feel really like annoyed if it looks annoying. So I didn't like it, so I just put a bit of the washi and I think it looks fine now. But anyway, next, I also think this is a really fun thing, which is like I think they're called like book brackets, but I just wrote best book of the year, and it's just you pick your favorite book of every month and then they kind of battle it out. This one did stress me out though because I could not figure out like how to structure the page, because people normally do 2 and then they pick 1 and then 2 and then they pick 1, but I couldn't figure out how to make that many boxes. I kept doing it and I don't know, I think it's because I wanted it to be this size and I don't think it works with that. I would have to make it smaller to fit because I was doing it and it was just not fitting on this page. So I had to do 3 to 1, which I think is fine because I feel like it gives it more less repetition, because if you pick 2 from here and then 2, or do you do it from there? I don't know, I don't even know, but I just did it like this. Anyway, I'm gonna move on now because I don't really know what to say. Okay, so this is my main tackle. It's my physical TBR. I counted out every single book I own. That's how many. I did do a little total, 342 books. That is excessive. A lot of them are multiple copies as well, because I have like loads of copies of Stephanie Garber's books because I love her books. I love Caraval, I love Once Upon a Broken Heart, so I have loads of copies of those books, like different editions. But I then coloured in, I went and counted all the books I have read and I coloured them in, and I just want to start tackling this. I don't mind if I don't get like all the way, but I kind of want to finish this like 1 page this year so that this is all read, and then I don't mind having like this many that I can tackle next year. It's bound to happen. I hope it doesn't, but it is bound to happen for me to buy at least 1 book this year. So I did do a little add in 2024 to also keep track of how many books I bought in 2024. It will not exceed this amount. Hopefully there won't even be one. There will be though, probably, but it will not exceed this space. I will make sure it doesn't. But yeah, so this is my main focus of the year, I guess. Next is book series I'm in the middle of. These are all the book series that I didn't finish last year. To be fair, last year was a year of me finishing a lot of series. I've read a lot of series, but these are the ones that I'm still in the middle of. And then I also made a little space here for if I'm like wanting to read a series. I'm just going to put it on this list, and then I will hopefully read more as well, because I know that maybe 5 or 6 series that I want to get into, but I really want to start finishing these first, especially because a lot of them I am on the last book. I find it really difficult to finish series. Like the last book takes me ages. Like for example, the Twisted series, I read all 3 of them in like 2 months, and that was like 5 months ago. So I've not read the last book because I just can't bring myself to, I guess, finish series. I don't know. So this is like, I'm gonna try and finish a lot of these series. A lot of them I've also just read 1 book of, and I want to kind of delve back into them. And yeah, but yeah, so that's what this is for. That's all. It's just a little nice way of just tracking it. Yeah, so now I also have my Kindle, so I do want to track what books I'm reading on my Kindle, because I want to prove to myself it's a good investment, which I already know it is, because I read on my Kindle every single day, and I use that every single day more than I read my physical books, more than anything else. But I also want to track how much I'm using KU, because I want to see if it's worth me continuing the subscription, which I think it is, because I read all my books pretty much are KU that I'm reading. I do own quite a few, but a lot of them are just KU subscription ones, and I just want to make sure that that is worth the money I'm paying, because yeah, I'm just trying to save some money this year, let's say that. But yeah, so these are the books I want to read that are on my Kindle, whether I have bought them or I have borrowed them from KU. And then here are any books that I see are on KU that I want to read. I will just write here so that I don't forget about them, because a lot of the time I do forget about them, and then I don't know to come back to them. This is a table just to note down the standalones, because I like having these separate spaces. So although I have the running list of every single book, I like having like the series written separate. I like coming here and just seeing, okay, I've read this many standalones. So I do like that, and I've done one for duologies as well, because I think it's fun to see them in a separate space. That's all. This is it will be very repeated information. I will have to put it on like 3 different pages, but it's fine. And then here I just made this little page for it literally just says books I've seen 1 quote of that makes me want to read it. And that happens a lot. I go on like TikTok and I see 1 quote of a book and I'm like, I need to read it. And I just think I will put it here and just think about if I want to read it, you know, instead of just reading it or buying it, because that was my first problem. The reason why my physical TBR is so long is because I used to just see 1 quote and then run and buy it, and I want to start thinking about it instead of just reading it because of 1 quote. So I want to put it here and then further see what it is, whether to read the blurb or see other TikToks of it or something like that, just to know if I'm gonna enjoy it, if it's worth the purchase, or if it is on Kindle Unlimited or something, to just, I can read it, you know. But I like having the list also to then know that, oh, I like this and I bought it, or I read it just because of this 1 quote. And I think that's fun as well to see, because when you buy like a bunch, I cannot tell you which ones I just saw 1 quote of anymore, like. But yeah, then there's a duology TBR. I'm in the middle of a lot. I've read 1 book, or I'm reading 1 book, and I haven't gone to the next one. But the way I decided to do this is just write the first book, the second book, and then the author. I think I'll also write the first book when I read it, and then just write the second book when I finish it, rather than unless I make another tab and just tick it when I finish it, like another column. I don't know. Again, a lot of this is, it will change when I start putting information in to see what works for me, because I didn't really stick with this last year or the year before, because last year I started it in the middle of the year because I was like, oh, I want to get back into it. And so I had so much information I had to backtrack that I just didn't feel the need to. So this year, hopefully, as I'm doing it, as it goes along, the information will not need to be backtracked. It will be all ready for me. So we'll see if I want to write it already and then tick, or whether I just want to write it as we go along. But yeah. And then next, this is just a space to put cute book dedications, because I find some really cute ones, and I feel like I'm just going to start like writing them around the page, and that's just like a middle title in the middle, but I will just kind of like write them anywhere in the page, and then what book it's from as well. This will probably finish really quickly, but I don't mind making this in the middle of somewhere else, like in the journal, and just making another page when I need to. Next I had to do this ones too. These are just like my favorite quotes, and I just really like highlighting on the Kindle and stuff, like quotes that I really like, but then I feel like it gets kind of lost there and I never see them again or think about them again. And so books that I really like quotes of, or quotes that I really like, I want to put them somewhere so that I can see them again. But yeah, so I thought I'd make this space. I did do a double one because quotes can be long, and also there will be loads. So yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Next is favorite couples and cute nicknames. I just want to write my favorite like couples down on a page. I did this in 2022 and I never stuck with it. I had about 5 couples on there, but I really liked how it looked, and I really liked the page, so I'm gonna start doing that for this one. And then here is book moments. Oh, and here it says things I don't want to forget. So I saw someone else on Pinterest or something do this, and I thought it was cute, but she did it like for every month. So which I guess it makes sense, because it's like you read 70 books in a month. This might be a bit more difficult to do, but I thought I'd try. I don't want to do it in the monthly in case I will only write one thing every couple months or something. So we'll see how it goes though. But just like, I guess, moments in books that I think about a lot, so just kind of put down there, which I think is actually quite a fun thing to track. Also, this page, I don't know if you can tell, but I made a boo-boo on this page and I had to cover it up, which really stressed me out, because when I don't like how a page looks, I will just stop using the whole journal, because it makes me feel uncomfortable that the page is like annoying, and it will annoy me. So I wanted to make a list of all the books that are more than 5 stars. Like, they hold a very big like place in terms of my favorite books. They're like really up there, and they deserve more than just 5 stars. I was gonna then include all the books that I've already given there, and I think there's like 23 books, and I did stick them all down, and I just did not like how the book covers looked. So I don't know if I want to edit them and make them a little bit less bright, or if I want to just write them, but I'm giving myself some room to think about it. So I will come back to this page, but I had to just cover it because I ripped it all off, and I had to just stick something over the top because it was annoying me, because I didn't like how it looked. I don't really like when things don't look like they're meant to be there, and it felt really out of place, because all my others I've literally just been using pen and like a few stickers and stuff, but this is very out there, and so even this I don't like, but it was all I could do. Yeah, and I will decide whether I'll use this page for this as well, or if I'll just do this for 2024. And I think I might just do this for 2024. So all the books I really like that I meet this year, instead of the ones I've already already read. And then this, I just put a quote at the top, and I was gonna just continue it, but I think I might do something else here, but I think I will have to think about it another time, because yeah, again, it is also just a space that if I need it, I guess. But we're gonna move on now because it's stressing me out. Next, so I basically read like romance, and then I'm trying to get more into fantasy. I have read quite a few fantasy, but I read more romance, and I thought I would make just like little lists of books that I want to read for each one and separate them by genre, just because I felt like it. To be fair, I just decided to just do a little journal, like scrapbooking, I guess, and then I thought, okay, well, I'll do romance and fantasy, that's fine. But yeah, but I do like this. Once I use it, I will just do a running list and then probably highlight the books once I read them, if I read them, because again, I'm a mood reader, so I will probably not really get to books unless I'm like really in the mood. This is also a spending track. I do want to keep an eye on how much I'm spending on books, whether it be Kindle, physical, anything like that. I guess that's it really, because I don't read audiobooks or listen to them. But yeah, and I just want to track, what does that say? Oh yeah, the number. Again, I'm a very big fan of having like a running list. I like have all these as notes or in my Notion, and I like to just see the number of things. So at the end of the year, I would like to see that, okay, I bought 10 things this year, you know? So I like to have that. And then a little description, the date, how much it cost, and then that is, if I can see it, I think that is to mark if when I've read it. I can read it, it's just I'm a bit too far away from the camera, so I can't see it. Anyway, then this is my wish list. So these are books that I really, really want, but I don't know if I would buy them, because I want to start thinking more before I buy books, and thinking more in general before I make any purchase, because I like to spend money like there's no tomorrow, and I like to just buy things impulsively. Yeah, so I just want to think about things before I buy them and not just rush to get them. That's why we've got this to track that. Next, last year was the year I quite a lot got into, I don't know if I'd say it like that, but I got into graphic novels and mangas, and I wanted to track what I was reading, and I thought it'd be fun to do it in this kind of way, because I wouldn't include them in the series tracker. I wouldn't include them in like the other ones. They're really big as well, so I don't they're like really big series sometimes. The mangas are not really anything else, but yeah, I'm in the middle of Spy Family, and also I read on Kindle Unlimited the Tree Festival trilogy little graphic novel, and I love them, so I do think it's quite fun to see them all on one page. I'm also in the middle of reading a business proposal, which I loved the K-drama, so I just love re-watching it through reading. So I do want to just track what I'm reading and where I am on those series and stuff, because I don't want to forget that I'm in the middle of stuff, because I do that a lot. Like I forget that I'm in the middle of a series or things like that, and I want to see it. So I think it's fun. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, so again, I want to do a lot of buzz. I want to do a lot of challenges in order to kind of ensure that I am kind of reading my physical TBR. So all of these, again, I want them to be off of my physical TBR, which is so doable. This is the Buzzwordathon, which is a YouTuber made it. I think it's like she's made it for 5 years. She's done it or something. I have only come across it now, and I will, if I could remember the name. But if you do, she's the only one who's done it, so if you do put Buzzwordathon, it will be just her who comes up. And these were all the prompts, and I found it quite fun, because it's like to do with the title and not necessarily like the theme of the book. And I think it's quite fun to just be like reading a book based on the title. So, but it will be, these will be out of my actual physical TBR to ensure that I read my physical TBR. So I just done one for every month because it is like a 1 a month kind of challenge. And yeah, and I'm gonna just write the title of the book once I read it. Again, it doesn't really matter if I don't read all of them, if I don't read one every month, but it's just a way of me trying to narrow down my physical TBR. That's my main challenge, not really anything else. Next, the alphabet challenge, which I did last year and I really enjoyed. I didn't go out of my way to like read a book that starts with K or you know, or N or whatever, but I did like seeing like the list fill up, and I just think I didn't do 4. I think I did all of them bar like X, Z, and W and Q. I think they were the only ones like I didn't do, but it was really fun. So I'm gonna try and do that again. And then I also have my bingo books, which basically, also if you don't know, I draw everything in pencil and then I kind of go over it, and I clearly did not rub this page out because I can see all the pencil like everywhere. You can see it there as well. Anyway, I'll have to redo that, like go over that, but if I can find the book page, I went too far. Why can I not remember where it is? I think it's sooner. Okay, wait, sorry, it's taking my time. Here. So I want to, when I finish a book that is one of these prompts, I want to just colour it, or like highlight the words, I don't want to colour the box because I feel like that's going to be too bright, too in your face. So I will just kind of highlight the words to be like, yeah, I've read a mystery book, or, you know, finished a series and stuff like that. But I didn't really have space to write the books that I chose for each prompt, and I really kind of wanted to do that so that I can see what I'm reading. And so I'll skip this page again. So I did want to have a little box just to write each one, and it will just go in order, but I didn't have enough space on this one page, so I'm going to start here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and it will just be in order of them, and there's enough for every single prompt. And I'm not necessarily going to I don't need to write the prompt on here because I can just refer to the other page. I will just write the title. I did see a lot of people also draw the covers, and I really do like how that looks, because I realised I don't like how the printed book covers look. I really don't like that, as you can tell from the other page that I had to cover up. It just wasn't my thing. I don't know if it is the way that I printed them or the way that mine kind of turned out, but I just didn't like it. So I think that the drawing the covers is a really nice idea. However, that just depends on if I'm actually able to do them, because a lot of covers have quite intricate patterns, and doing it small like this, I might struggle, and then I'll be annoyed if it doesn't look like the cover. Like, that annoy me a lot. So we'll see. I might just write the titles because I'm not that fussed, you know. Next, another challenge, which again, I don't think I will read. There's 50 here. I don't think I will read all of them, but I can think of a lot of the books, all of these prompts, pretty much, bar maybe 10 or 15. I can think of a book that I own on my shelf for them, and I really, really want to use this in order to, again, cut down my physical TBR. That is really my thing for the year. I want to cut down on my physical TBR because I really want to look at my shelf and just be delighted with books that I've read and that I love. So that's why I'm going to do this challenge as well, which is the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge. So this is also quite fun. A lot of the prompts I find really fun, and a lot of them I can think of things already, like I really want to read Bunny by Mona. great that I don't remember the surname. Mona A, I think, something with an A, but I really want to read her book, Bunny. And one of the prompts here is like reading a book by an unreliable narrator, and so I can use that one, you know. So it's just books that I have had on my list for ages, and I can think of a lot of these that are. And then I did print out this and just stick it in because I thought it's too much effort to design the page, so I thought I'd do that. I did write here date started and date finished. I will write the start date on the day that I first pick a book, so it won't necessarily be the 1st of January. It'll be whatever day is the first day that I read a book that is one of these prompts, and then the day I finish is the day I do all of them, which might possibly never happen, so it won't be there, but I do think it's nice to have that to kind of see. And then I was gonna I did print out the on the website. It comes with this, and then also a like filling in sheet, so you can kind of write down what you chose for each prompt. And I printed it out, but it was just too small, so when I put it in, it was the same size as this paper. It was on this side, and when I like held it to the page, I saw that I just will not be able to write anything in those boxes, so I decided it doesn't matter, I'll just do it like this, and I'll just write the title in each box, and there are 50 here, and I will maybe number them, maybe not, I don't know, but it will just be in order, so it doesn't matter, you won't really get lost. But it just depends, because if I don't number them, then I'll have to actually like count each box. If I want to go to like number 40, then I'll have to count 40 boxes, and that might be a bit too much effort, but we'll see. But I do think I will like it better if I don't number it, so I probably won't. But yeah, next, this is my series breakdown for 2024. These are all of the series I'm currently in the middle of and how much of them I have read. This year I really want to read I really want to get proper into the Addicted to Calloway series, because I already know I'm gonna love Kiss the Sky, because I love the characters that book is about. So I really, and I'm in the middle of Addicted for now, I really want to kind of really quickly read Addicted for now, so I can kind of take a break from the Addicted series and enjoy those Calloway books, because I think personally I will prefer the Calloway books to the Addicted books, just because I prefer I love Daisy and I love Rose, and I think that I will enjoy their stories more, and I really want to get there. So I literally, one of my most anticipated books is Kiss the Sky, and it has been for ages. It's even on my 24 books in 2024, if I can find it. I feel like I can't though, but is it that? Yeah, it's also here somewhere. But yeah, so I do really want to get into that. I will be okay if I don't finish it, but I do want to get a good chunk of that done. Again, I want to read a lot of these and finish them before I write more series, before I add to it, because I am in the middle of a lot, I've realised, and I'm on the last book of a lot, which is a bit annoying, because I can finish Once Upon a Broken Heart. I just really don't want to say goodbye to Jax and the characters and everything like that, so that one has been a bit difficult for me to read. And then Twisted Lies, I really want to just finish it, because I want to also start, is it Kings of Sin series, which is the like spin-off that she is currently writing, Anna Huang, and I think that's got like 4 books out now as well, and I own quite a lot of them, but I stopped buying them because I kept buying them as soon as they came out, but I'm like, I haven't even finished this series, so I'm not even going to be reading them anytime soon. Again, Shatter Me is another one that I want to finish, or at least finish Ignite Me, because I've been reading Ignite Me and I'm on chapter 9 or something, and I started it months and months ago, but then I just stopped it because I was more excited about another book, and then I just read that book, and then I never came back to it. So I do want to read that book at least this year. Other books, fine, because I'm pretty sure Tahira Murphy intended to end it, if I'm correct. She finished the series on Ignite Me, so technically it finished, and then I don't mind kind of counting the other books as a separate series in that sense, where I will feel content if I finish the initial story, if that makes sense. Anyway, yeah, again, another one, Off Campus. I don't really enjoy the series, but they're such easy reads that I just want to kind of hurry up and finish it, basically, because I am done with it. Good Girls Book Guide, again, I need to finish that. I don't know why I haven't, but I need to finish the last book. And I want to get back into The Folk of Air, because when I read The Cruel Prince, I loved it. I don't know why I didn't continue it. I don't know why I didn't read the next one. Again, I have all these books. I don't have King of Elfham, but I'll probably won't even buy it, to be fair. I'll probably just read it on the Kindle or something. But I want to at least finish The Queen of, The Wicked King and the Queen of Nothing. Yeah. Another series that I'm reading on Kindle that I'm really loving is Honeywood. What? Honeywood. I'm really enjoying that. I read the first book and I really liked it. So I will enjoy that. Another one is Magnolia Parks. That is coming out in February, I believe. Into the Dark. Again, Magnolia Parks. And I'll tell you, Magnolia Parks and Once Upon a Broken Heart are my favourite 2 series. I also love Caraval, so Caraval is also my favourite series, but I know it's bad, but I include Caraval and Once Upon a Broken Heart like together, but they're not, they're like separate, so that's I guess spin-off series, but I love all 3 of them. They're like my favourite books, and I can't wait for Magnolia Parks Into the Dark. Also, I believe there is another Daisy Hates, and then I think that's it, which is sad, but I'm not sure. There might be more, but I doubt it. But anyway, I think it is meant to be like a six book series long, 6 book long series even. And then there is enough space for a few more, but I thought possibly I'll run out of space, so I did make another one later on. I did make another page for this. Next, notable releases. Again, I like to track what's coming up. I did decide to just write this because a lot of them like come with books come out with like it's going to come in spring of this year or this, that and the other, and not necessarily a month, so I can't really put it in, but I made a page for each, a square for each month, and I'm just going to write the date and then a little line and what book it is. This needs to be filled in because we've got, obviously in February we have Magnolia Parks. I think, is it also February? Kristen and Becca Ritchie are coming out with a new book called, is it Yours? No, it's not. I don't know what it's called, but it's the one with the strawberry cover, strawberry in chocolate cover, which I really want to read that, and it's going to be a new series, and I think I can keep up with it because obviously if I read the book when it first comes out. And then in April I think Funny Stories coming out, and August Tahira Murphy's Woven Kingdom 3rd book is coming out, but I haven't read the other 2 yet. They've just been sitting on my shelf for a while, so we'll see. But yeah, I need to fill this out basically. But yeah, and then here is just another one for the breakdown of series continued, just because I do have a big feeling that this won't be enough space, especially because I don't know if you know, I like to just read one book of a lot of series and then leave them. So if I ever do start, I want to make those charts for all of them. Next, you can tell when I get lazy and when I don't really want to do this anymore, so I just wanted to finish it. But here I'm going to do my top 12 books halfway through the year, so yeah, in like what, June, July, I will sit down and be like, these are my favorite books. End of June, I guess, that these are my favorite books so far, and I want to do 12. And then here is 2024 favorites of 2024. I want to write 24 books that I really liked in 2024. I might even do a video on it because this channel is going to be quite book related, because not just this is just the first video that is about journaling, but it will just be me talking about books because that's what I like to do. Yeah, so I might do a video on my 24 favorites of 2024. Let's see how long this YouTube thing lasts, because I don't know. Okay, next is lyrics that remind me of books. I saw this on Pinterest and it was like the Spotify like lyrics, and I just want to kind of take the screenshots of them and then cut them out, paste them, and then just like collage them on here, I think. We'll see how it looks, but yeah, because I think it's just fun. It's just a fun page. It's not necessarily important, it's not giving you any information, it's not necessary, but it's fun, and that's fine. Here again, I will draw these out as I go because I was too lazy to write it all the way down, and also because I want to do more on this page. I just don't know what, because yeah, I don't have the mind span to think really, but I do want to track what books I have multiple copies of, because I do have a lot of multiple copies of books, and I do want to have a place where I can see that. And I'm just going to list all the books that are multiple copies, so I'm not going to include the actual copy, so like the main paperback, but any other books. So for example, I think I have like 4 copies of Caraval, so I won't include the first one, but I'll write the other 3, if that makes sense. And then I got this from, that must have been a Waterstones one, but it just says signed in exclusive editions, because I think I will, it might be my only copy, but I think I want to write down all of my exclusive editions. So I might actually write exclusive editions and at the top here, and then multiple book copies bought, just because I want to see that. That's all. That's actually the only reason. Next, again, another page of all the books I've read in 2024 continued. I didn't write the title because I didn't need to. By now I know what it is. I know like what each column is, and I just know that I'm going to run out of space, and when I do run out of even this space, I will just make, wherever I am in the book, I'll just make a new one, because I'm not that fussed. And then I got a little cute little quote, which I really like. This was also in my 2023 one with the same image. Like I just copied this literally because I really like that page, and it just says, every time you open a book, a little magic falls out. This actually does it like a book like this, but for some reason when you turn it this way, it doesn't, it looks a little bit, but it doesn't really look like a book, but it's okay. I'm not really a perfectionist, but it's okay. Next, this is actually the last page before January, so I will show you January as well, but this is just a monthly reading tracker, and how I'm going to do it is every month I have a shelf, and I was going to draw books like this and then colour them in when I read them, but I've decided that's going to annoy me if some of them aren't coloured, so I've decided, that's why I did this in pencil to explain it. But I'm going to, let's say I read 5 books in January. I normally read around 8 books a month, but January seems to be a good one because I'm off for uni, I have time, and I just read. So January ends up being a bit bigger than that, a bit more books than that. But let's say 8. I will draw 8 books when I read them. So once I finish them, so at the end of the month, I read 8. And every day you'll see all the books I read. It will just be a drawing. So let's say I read 3. I will just read, like, draw up to that. You won't see the rest. And it'll just be 3 books and whatever. Just to kind of see how much I'm reading every month. This is kind of like how a lot of people do, like, the bookshelves of a shelf. I think it's called, like, selfie or shelfie of the year, where they do a whole bookcase. That overwhelms me, so I'm not going to do it. But this is kind of my version of it. And I'm just going to do one for every month. But yeah, and that's that. That's kind of all the book pages that I wanted to include at the start, because I don't want to do too many, because there's no point if I'm not going to use it. And I feel like these are the ones I will do. I will use them. Next, I didn't do a cover page for January because I felt like it kind of wastes the whole page, so what's the point? So I'm not going to do that. But instead of like a cover page, and I think she just uses that one page for the whole month, and then every month she does it, which I like. But I think I might do a few more pages, but we'll see. But I might be content with just this as well. I've decided to do a little calendar because I want to track what days I read what books and how long it takes me to read the books. And I'm going to do it, I'm going to mark it, and I'm going to colour the star rating. This is really confusing to explain, I think, but the star rating will be coloured in, let's say I read A Curse of True Love, for example. Let's say I choose to use a red pen for that, to mark that. I will give that 5 stars because I already know it's going to be 5 stars, but I will colour them all in, write the name here, and then when you see a highlight of that colour, it is responding to that book. And I will do that with all the books I read. I left this space, I don't know how many books I will read, and I did it in pencil because I will just rub it out and do however many books I do read, and then when I read them. So let's say I read it on Monday and I finish it on Wednesday, then I will just highlight Monday to Wednesday. I think this is good because it also works for when you read multiple books, because you can just do multiple lines, and I like to read multiple books like at a time, so I like that. And each one also then tells you the star rating because it's like you're doing it. So I will do all the star ratings, the title, and then how long it takes me to read the book all in one place. And that's why I wanted to do a calendar. And that's really all that the information's going to be. I don't want to write anything on it or anything like that. Also, probably won't even write numbers because it is literally, that's the first, and that is the, is it 30 or 31? That is the 31st. Is there 30? Yeah, there are 31 in January. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 7, 28, 29, 30, 30. Yeah, 31. Yeah, don't doubt yourself. I know what I'm talking about. And then a TBR here, which I want to write a TBR for every month. Again, this is just to structure how much of my physical TBR I'm reading, because I will just write what is on my physical TBR as my TBR for the month. But again, I'm not stressed if I don't read them. I never really read my TBR, but it is quite fun to see. Here also is a goal. Every month I normally read about 8 books, but I want to try and read 10 books a month, and that way it doesn't matter because it's overachieving my goal, because my goal is 100, and if I read 100 books every month, then I'm reading 120 books, which it's okay for me to slack a bit in that sense. But I just want to, at least for January, read 10 books this month, but we will see. And I think it's quite fun to do it like this. So I'm going to just do a little bar and colour in when I read 1 book, when I read 2, and keep going until I read 10, which I think will be quite fun. Next, on this side, again, there's a bit of space here, which I guess if I have a longer TBR, but I also just don't know what to put that. And then there's also space here and here. I will think about what else to include, because this isn't really going to be my finished spread, but I just need to see what I want to track for the month and every month. Anyway, I've decided to also track my format, because I read physical books, I read my digital books, and then I also read both, where I'm reading my physical books alongside my alongside my Kindle, and I want to track how much of that I'm doing. So I decided to do that, and I will just do it kind of like a bar graph. And then average rating of the books that month. I think it's really fun information, so I will do that. And then I also have faves, so my favorite books of the month. I left enough room for like 4, so we'll see, or 5 even. And then here, books bought. Again, I don't want more than 3, but hopefully none. We will see. But yeah, I'm bound to buy a few, especially because there are a few books coming out this year, and that is the only thing that kind of scares me with this. I won't, because sometimes I feel like I need to buy the new books that are coming out, but we will see. And then I also did these planners because I have a bit of a theme. I like to do these doodles like everywhere, because they're just like little simplistic stars and planets and stuff, and I do that all the time with even like my bullet journal. It's like that, and everything. I just like to do these little doodles, and so I decided to do them into planets, and now I'm going to make them into pie charts to see how much of the different genres I'm reading, and then also how much of my TBR I have read and how much I didn't. So that one's kind of like a simple one. That one I might have to do a bit more calculation, but I think if I use Storygraph, which I used Storygraph in 2022, I stopped using it in 2023, and I'm going to probably pick it back up on this year, but we will see. But yeah, I will also like put a few more things on this page, just because I do want to just have this one page as well. I think it's helpful. And then the plan is, which I did with my 2023 one, every time I read a book that I really liked, I did a little journal spread on it. And so in January, let's say I read 3 books that I want to do a journal spread on, I'll do 1, 2, 3, and then I will turn the page, and then February will be here, and it will just be probably the same as this. And I think also being just one page doesn't stress me out, because with my bullet journal I get stressed out when I have to do like 5 pages a month at the start of the month, because I feel like then I'm always doing it, whether this is just me putting in information in every time I have information, but it's already done. So when I get to doing like February's page, this is not a lot. This is really simple, and this was really fun to do as well. This is just, it's a very simple layout. I'm just going to do a calendar, a few lines here, a few lines there, 2 circles, a square, you know, like it's very simple. And that's why I think it's doable. I did really keep with this kind of a theme throughout, and I decided to do it in January. I decided to do it every month, so it will be the same theme. Every month will probably look the same. It will probably look like this, but it will just say February or March or April, whatever month, instead of January. But everything else I think will be the same. I'm obsessed with the colour brown. I'm obsessed with these colours. This little colour you see here is a mild liner. I don't know what shade, but it's the brown one. And that's a brown Tombow dual brush pen. And I use just them two. And then this brown pen is actually just a Muji brown in the colour brown. It's the clicky one in 0.5, I think, but it has to be clicky because the lid ones I don't think write as nicely, but that's literally it. And then everything I just use those colours. And I think that's it. I did use, yeah, this pen, which is like a little lighter, is a like Stabilo, I think. But that's it. And it's really simple because when you, like, I literally just use the same things, then it's less stress to think about anything. At the start, I was thinking I was going to have a bit of a purple theme. So this is also a purple Tombow dual brush pen. And I think that is a Food and Nosque brush pen as well. I think, I don't know, the black, because that's in black, but I decided to stick with just brown because it's simple. But yeah, that's literally it. I will have to do that, but apart from that, I think it is just completely done. And yeah, it's not about that page. Yeah, but again, like, I just do these little doodles on every page just to keep it a bit coherent. Yeah, but I do really like this page, I think.